I'm a happy little Splitgate logo. My game is fine and everything is great.
Hello Splitgate. Minimalism is in and it's time for a facelift.
Oh no, please don't turn me into an oversimplified logo.
Hold still.
What are you doing? Stop.
There we go. Better than ever.
Oh no.
So the day that Splitgate's teaser trailer came out, there was also a change to the game's website, splitgate.com. If you look at the end of the trailer and the homepage of Splitgate's website, you will see that we are clearly going from this to this. Memes aside, why the sudden rebranding of Splitgate by 1047 Games? Are they actually chasing the minimalism trend? Is there something wrong with the current design? Well, there's something going on here, so let's dig around a little. In a previous video, I speculated that Splitgate's initial launch in 2019 was more of like a soft beta test, and that the console release would be the real launch of the game. I said that because of a comment made by Splitgate's creator, Ian Prue, who said this.
Let's get our MVP, right? Let's get our minimal viable product out there in the hands of real users, but we've got enough of a core mechanic and kind of the basics in place where we can start learning and we can start getting real feedback and we can start looking at the data and seeing, what's resonating with people, what's not working.
If Splitgate's going to get as big as some people hope it'll be, then the majority of the game's future player base will be people who heard of this game for the first time after this update. In other words, I believe this rebranding is done with the newer players in mind rather than the existing player base. Now that's not to say that they're trying to alienate the current players of the game. In fact, I think the opposite is true. Let's say you're a player that played Splitgate the first week that it came out and you liked it. You played it for a while. It was a little rough around the edges, but ultimately it didn't hold your attention and you haven't played the game since. Well then, 2 years later, it's June 11th and you're watching IGN's Summer of Gaming event and you see Splitgate's teaser trailer and you notice a bunch of changes that you didn't see when you first played it on day one of the game. That could be a huge deal for a lot of the old players. You also have to consider that this rebranding hasn't just happened overnight with the logo and new design. If you compare day one Splitgate with current Splitgate, everything from the HUD, the in-game menu, and the cosmetics have improved. Splitgate has undergone a major change of identity, and a lot of the old players from 2019 are going to not just see the new logo and design, but they're going to see all these changes as a whole complete package and see this huge new transformation. Maybe you're in the camp where you simply don't like the new logo / design of the rebrand. We'll talk about minimalism in a moment, but think of it this way. If this redesign helps the chances of this game blowing up and helps with the relaunch, I mean, what more can you ask for as a fan of Splitgate, right? But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you disagree. I personally like the old logo and the new logo. That said, I've seen comments online from people who have compared this Splitgate change to like the Firefox logo, which has progressively devolved over time, and also logos from like Microsoft and Google. And I agree that this logo is minimalistic. I mean, just look at it, right? It's less busy. The font of Splitgate is simpler, and even the subtitle Arena Warfare is completely gone. However, I wouldn't go as far to say that the Splitgate logo is like the Firefox logo where it's devolved over time. To me, it's more like a reimagination because there's not very many similarities. It's got that red and blue color on the top and bottom like the old logo, but other than that, I can't see much more similarities than that. These days, we're pretty used to rebranding from mobile apps and PC applications, but what about video games? I tried to think of a recent example of a video game that's doing something similar to Splitgate, and I could only think of one game, Halo the Master Chief Collection. I know it's kind of unfair to compare the development of a free-to-play indie game like Splitgate to a $60 industry staple AAA game like Halo, but there actually are some parallels between the two. When the Master Chief Collection came out in 2014, it only launched on one platform, the Xbox One. It started out with a really good player population, but for multiple reasons that quickly went away, and the development team was spending the majority of its time fixing all the problems that it launched with. Years later, the developers fixed most of the day one problems. They overhauled the UI, they added a new cosmetic system, other new features were added, they introduced the game to PC, and they added a crossplay function. If this sounds familiar to you, well, that's because Splitgate has undergone very similar changes in their own game. Granted, Splitgate's initial problems weren't about bugs and technical issues like Halo MCC's were, and Halo's rebranding wasn't as drastic as Splitgate's. But the comparisons are there, and look at Master Chief Collection now. It's doing great because of the changes. The takeaway from all this is sometimes change is good. I know some of you are not going to like the new logo or whatever, no matter what, but I think we can all agree that, in the grand scheme of things, we all just want Splitgate to succeed. All in all, this new logo and design represents a new era of Splitgate that we are about to enter. I am hyped for the change, and hopefully this all pays off. Thanks for watching Split Gang. I'm Endo, and I'll see you in the next one.